Hi, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Holly Morrison of the Goshen team, and we're in my kitchen to learn again about how to live sustainably and healthy and holistic, and we're going to learn how to make kefir yogurt. So I'm going to take you from my refrigerator of something that I've already set up, and then I'm going to show you how to set it up again from our pure kefir. And if you watched our last video, and I'm sure you have, which is why you're watching this one now, this is just plain unflavored yogurt. It's been sitting in my fridge for a few days waiting on me to make yogurt with it with you today. So there's no flavoring, and I showed you how to do that on the last video. So we're going to take this and make what we're going to finish off now, but this just makes more sense to start here. So this has been sitting in my fridge for 2 days. This plastic wrap is on top. It has a purpose. It just keeps it from picking up any flavors from inside of your refrigerator. Also, it works as a sterile work surface. So I'm going to lay it wet side up, and I'm going to take my colander, and as you can see right here, it's been lined with coffee filters, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a moment. We're going to set this right here. And then what we're going to do now is this is kefir whey, and it's a byproduct, totally usable, no waste whatsoever, of making kefir yogurt. And we're going to pour that off into a couple of mason jars, and we're going to use it for, pardon me for not having this out, I knew I forgot something. We're going to use this to ferment our grains, to ferment beans. You can actually drink it straight. Oh, and it all fit in there. Praise the Lord. It's very pretty. Benjamin Franklin actually, I'm going to put this in a place where it stays clean in case I decide I need it again, said that kefir whey was the fountain of youth. So, and actually he was just talking about whey. This is actually fermented whey. So it is a byproduct of our kefir when we're making kefir Greek yogurt. So that's going to go in your refrigerator, and it really will last for weeks, but you won't take weeks to use it up. All right, this bowl is still clean. We're going to take our kefir that has been sitting here, and the purpose of putting it in the refrigerator in the coffee filter is to strain away the whey to make very thick. See, there's no jiggle, and it looks like cheesecake. If you've ever baked cheesecake, or you could watch a YouTube video, and if cheesecake's coming out, it is pulled away from the sides. So we're going to very lovingly, and we can dump it in here, but I'm going to show you a much happier way of doing it so that we know we have 100% success. And we're going to flop it, and I do mean flop, in here. Now this is still, you know, fairly clean, so you could use that for something else related to kefir. And all we're going to do is pull these off. I keep a plate here to the side. I'm an RN, and I like everything clean. And when you're doing anything to do with ferments, you want everything clean. You start with clean hands, sterile jars. You're just carefully scraping this off because, you know, good milk and good ingredients are not cheap, and we do not want to waste any of it. And it honestly just comes out pretty thick, as Greek yogurt is. And there you go. Now, if you want it thicker than this, and you can, my 3-year-old doesn't like it super, super thick, and the edges will be the thickest right here. But the middle will be a little more jiggly. This is perfect for my family, but if you want it a little bit drier than that, all you have to do is let it go one more day. Mine's gone 48 hours, but if you do 72 in your fridge, then you are set for the thickest Greek yogurt you have ever made in your entire life. And it's also set up to make kefir cheese or onion dip. We're not going to go into that. We're going to go the sweet route today. So we've got it in the bowl, and what I'm about to do is I'm going to demonstrate several ways that you can take this plain, unflavored Greek yogurt or kefir cheese and flavor it up in a way that's going to be palatable for your family and your children. I'm going to start with a sugar-free whey, which is the way our family eats it every day, or as often as I can make it. I can't keep up with every day, but I can pretty much make it available for them every other day. Okay, so we're going to make a maple flavored one that is sugar-free using a maple flavored extract. This one is clean, and we bought it from Whole Foods. Frontier is the company. I haven't found one that's near as good as this one, so I've tried several kinds, but this one's outstanding. You can get that online too. With that, we're going to use organic stevia and non-GMO erythritol These are 0-calorie sweeteners that are natural. And these 3 items together in here make a maple syrup Greek yogurt that is ridiculous. It tastes like dessert. Then we're going to, for those who are not trying to go sugar-free, we're going to do a fruit on the bottom strawberry preserves. This is organic. You can get organic preserves anywhere. And then there are those who just love honey yogurt and honey with Greek yogurt. So ours is going to be maple flavored because this is the batch we're doing, but all you would do is add your sweeteners but no maple syrup, and then you would just do your honey on top or on the bottom, whichever you prefer. So we're going to use both these items, but I buy them in bulk, so I put them in containers for my ease of use. So stevia, when you buy it in bulk, you're going to buy a very miniature little spoon. It's like a 1/16 of a spoon. And you can buy these anywhere. I ordered these online because they were dirt cheap. Okay, so this is started off with a 1/2 gallon of kefir. So for my recipe, I do 6 generous 1/16 of a teaspoons of, and that might be number 7 or it might be number 6. Okay, and then we do erythritol, and I will do 6 for that one also. And erythritol, spoon for spoon, 3, 4, 5, and you could have just done 2 heaping tablespoons. And then we're going to do a generous drizzle of maple syrup extract. You can do as much as you want. I have just gotten used to the color, but this is about 1.5 teaspoons. Then we're going to mix it up. And as you can see, everything's just sitting there. And when I start mixing this together, and this was 100% grass-fed milk. It's non-homogenized. So as you can see, the little beads in here that are forming, that's fat. So once I get the friction going, those are all going to disappear, and then we have homogenized it ourselves. And we're almost there. As you can see, there's hardly any of those little beads left. It's getting pretty shiny. And the beautiful thing about making this yourself, that as it sits in the fridge, even another day or 2, it will thicken even more. But again, if you like extremely thick Greek yogurt, all you do is give it an extra 24 hours sitting through the filter system that we have set up with the coffee filters. All right, we are there. Nice and shiny, silky, and I assure you, delicious. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set up our maple flavored sugar-free kefir yogurt. That's Greek yogurt. We're going to set it up in a single serving setup right here. So I'm going to do it the way I do it for my family. Our favorite is blueberries on the bottom. We use wild blueberries, and then we'll put the kefir yogurt on top. We'll put the lid on and stick it in the fridge, and then the next morning it is perfection, just waiting on you. I like to use a little insert here that just makes it all get where we're going, okay? So it meaning whatever you put in a mason jar. And I like wide mouth because they're easy to clean and they're easy to eat out of, etc. So we're going to start with our wild blueberries. I get these from Costco. You can also get them from Whole Foods. Frozen blueberries work best for the fruit on the bottom if you're trying to make exactly what I'm making. And if you've tasted this once, you'll want to make it over and over. So we're going to put some blueberries. It's okay if they're chunks because in the morning this is all going to be liquid goodness. Now if you have somebody in your family that especially loves sweet, your blueberries on the bottom are going to, I would just put, because there's no sweetener in this, it's just natural blueberries. You can sprinkle a little bit more of erythritol on top. And it has no bitterness. Stevia can have a little bit of bitterness. That's why we use the 2 of these together. This is what I have found to work fantastic, is those 2 together. So there's our blueberries on the bottom. Now we are going to take our spoon, and we've kept it on our plate to keep it clean. And we're going to just put our yogurt on top. And like I said, after this sits up, it will even get thicker. And there is the beautiness of it all. And in the morning, that will all be blue and purpley, and you're just going to swirl it together. It will be gorgeous. Now we're going to make the strawberry one. Super simple. This particular preserve is rather loose, which is kind of perfect. So you don't really even have to beat it up, like, and you know, because you want it to be kind of thinner. And you're just going to put as much as you want. Kefir yogurt or kefir in any capacity is so good for you that whatever you have to do to make this happy for your children to consume, do it. If you have to do full sugar in this and don't make it with stevia and erythritol, do it. Whatever preserves food preserves you. And there is the goodness. Beautiful. And I assure you, yummy. There's not going to be anybody in your family that will not want that. Okay, now this is the classic Greek yogurt with honey. It is not my favorite, but it will still get consumed in this house. Trust me. I'll probably put some blueberries on top and it will go down the hatch. Last but not least, and a half a gallon of kefir makes 1 quart of kefir yogurt. So here we are. And trust me, I will scrape all that goodness off when nobody is looking. And here is our raw, unfiltered honey. And we are going to do the magic on top. And you can, of course, put as much as you want. That will be it for me. And the delicious, and this is just breakfast waiting on you. And you can do these at the beginning of the week or over the weekend, and then you've got breakfast 3 days in a row. And there we go. This is the magic. This is how we take our beautiful kefir unflavored and turn it into yogurt. So I'm using a smaller colander, but if you're doing a half a gallon, we're only doing a quart. So this is a smaller colander. These are my coffee filters that I've loosened up already and separated. I kind of stack them a little bit kind of like this because I'm going to moisten them before we put them on here. I did not do this in my early days, and this is just a trick I found by accident, and it has made all the difference in making sure you can lay these out perfectly. These are just unfiltered coffee filters from Walmart for $1.25 for a big old monster pack. So I'm going to take just a moment and go moisten these up, and I'll be right back. So on my way back from the sink of wetting my unbleached coffee filters, I realized I think I said unfiltered. So these are unbleached, which is why they're brown, which means they have no chlorine. So we are going to very gently fold them so we can cover up every single hole of your colander. The reason being, if you don't cover every single hole of your colander, then your kefir won't filter. It will just shoot right through whatever hole it can find. And we don't want that. All we want to do is let the whey come through. And these work wonderful. They're cheap, they're inexpensive, they're clean, and it works. And there we go. Now we have a little spot there, and I had an extra filter here for that reason. Anytime you see a little spot, it's worth another filter. And then I always finish it with one in the middle. And if you don't put one in the middle, you will see why you should put one in the middle. I'll tell you after I pour it in. Okay, so there's our filters. They're all in there nicely. There is not a hole to be found. We shake our kefir really well. And if you've blended your kefir that day and it was in your blender, you go from your blender straight into your filter, right into your colander with your coffee filters. And this is quite simple. All you're going to do is pour it into the middle. Now, if you did not have the coffee filter in the very bottom, all these ones that are along the side would have shot up. And then all of your kefir would have fallen through, and it would not have been ruined. It would have just meant you would have needed to redo it again and put new coffee filters in. I have done that one time. You don't do that twice, let me tell you. Okay. And the reason, I think I said that, the reason I stack my filters before I wet them, I stagger them a little bit, is because once they're wet, they stick together, and you can spend 15 minutes peeling those babies apart. Okay, so now this is set up to go in your fridge. The only thing you're going to do now, don't look at the top of my fridge, it's rather messy, is you're going to put plastic wrap on top. And that is to keep the smells, or whatever, from your refrigerator out of your kefir. And there we go. Wrap that baby up really well. And then what's going to happen is in the bowl below, as I showed you, or I did show you at some point, I'm not sure how that's going to be laid in the video, but you'll see that down below is where the kefir whey is going to collect, and you want to save that. So this is going to go straight into your refrigerator. It's going to sit in there for at least 48 hours. And again, if you want extremely thick, where you take your spoon and you go like this and it doesn't fall off, then give it 72 hours. And then you will be to that clean, unflavored kefir yogurt or Greek yogurt, and you'll be ready to flavor it however you wish. One last little thing, I want to talk to you about your kefir whey, because for every quart of Greek yogurt you make, you're going to produce a quart of kefir whey. This is probiotic heaven. You have purchased this, you do not want to waste it. It can sit in your fridge really indefinitely. I wouldn't give it more than a couple weeks just because, you know, it tastes like buttermilk right away, so it's only going to taste more like buttermilk. But you're going to use this in multiple ways. I mentioned that earlier, that you can ferment your grains, your oats. You can soak them the night before in a few tablespoons of it with water. You can ferment beans overnight with about a 1/4 cup to a pound of beans. The last thing we do, my husband actually will drink this. I like it okay, but he doesn't mind it at all, and he'll drink it straight, which is pretty miraculous because he likes chocolate and peanut butter a lot. So what we're going to do is just one idea. This is the way I like to drink it. This is one of my favorite medicinal teas. It's a green tea, but it has hibiscus in it too. So I sweeten my kefir whey with a little bit of stevia and erythritol. You can do one or the other or not at all. It doesn't matter. So we're going to take our bag and we're going to just drop it in there. I sweeten it first before I put my bag in. We didn't do it now because I know you all know how to do that. And we just let it sink in. And I let mine sit on the counter overnight because, you know, it's already fermented, so it's not going to go bad. There's no sugar in it, but as you can see, by just letting the bag sit in there, it's going to start dripping. Like in the morning, it's going to be breathtaking because hibiscus is so pretty. And honestly, you know, we eat with our eyes first. So we're going to look at that gorgeous, bright, vibrant color. And there's lots of teas that add color, and if color doesn't matter to you, don't worry about it. So this is one of the ways that I use up kefir whey. Thanks for coming to my kitchen. Really just enjoy you coming and learning what I have learned along the way. Please, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments below, and please hit the subscribe button so you can continue to follow us and get our updates. And just to bait you about what's coming, I'm going to teach you how to take something that most people throw away, and we're going to turn it into something incredibly healthy for your family.